What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing the top 10 best 1/3 scale statues in my collection. So it's been quite some time since I've done the top 10 1/3s. I own, let me count real quick, 49 1/3 scale statues. Jupiter's frickin', that's a lot. Now, when I rate these 1/3s, it's gonna go off not the love of that character. You know, it's gonna go based off the quality, the concept. Did they achieve the character, you know, like charisma, personality, and just the general look of the statue, how it feels, how premium, and so forth. So, yeah, I'm gonna quickly pause the video, write it down, because this is going to take some real thought process, because I've received a lot of good ones, and then we'll get to it starting at number 10. Alrighty, so this list is probably going to surprise some people, for sure. And before we get to the top 10, let's give some honorable mentions. Now, Alien Warrior is considered non-scale. It's not considered 1/3. Even though I believe it's close to 1/3, so we're not going to include that on the list. And I'm also not going to include, you know, that guy, because, you know, obviously you know Prime 1's going to be on the list. I'm just going to exclude him because they're basically the same statue. But some honorable mentions that were extremely close to, you know, getting on the list for me. There's just a few quirks about it that would not make it. One is Wolf Predator by Sideshow. Now, this is, you know, an old school grail, and it's extremely well done. I still think the detail's fantastic. However, you know, compared to like the new Prime 1 Predator, you know, like the inner mouth detail, the eye detail, you know, stuff like that, the inaccuracy, this actually should not be there. He did not, or maybe it was the legs. Either the legs or the arms. But I know one of those shouldn't have leggings. Now, I do like the base. However, the Alien Warrior is gray. It should be more like that. And the underbase is just black. I hate that. Like, it's terrible. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. Plus, I believe it's underscaled for 1/3. But this is still, nevertheless, one of my favorite, you know, 1/3 scale statues. Another one would be Dog Alien. He was very close to making the list, but he just did not cut it. Extremely good statue. Red Sonja, another of my favorite 1/3s. Absolutely amazing, but did not make it. Now let's go to the last few honorable mentions in here, actually. Both the J&Ds. Honorable mentions, extremely well done, but they did not make my list. And the last honorable mention is going to be Darkseid. As good as he is, he did not make my top 10. You know, he is massive, incredibly cool, but I think my top 10 are superior statues just in terms of what they were wanting to achieve. So let's get to number 10. Number 10 for me is going to be Prime 1 Ash. This envelops everything from the movie, and I think Prime 1's concept is 10 out of 10, could not get better. The fact you get every major piece from the movie, the Necronomicon, the Ash's cut off hand, the Kandarian dagger, Henrietta, the moose, you know, the fact there's a giant building, 4 heads. This thing is freaking amazing. The only reason it's not higher up on the list is because, one, lack of glass eyes. You know, that I think is a thing that 1/3 scale statues need to start really incorporating. Ever since like ECC and, you know, J&D, I really do love glass eyes. They really bring a piece alive. And I think just in general, the paint app on like the skin tone could have been better. You know, it's definitely, there was a step down from the prototype, like probably only like 70% to proto. So other than that, everything else on this piece, like his clothing, the base, everything else is just premium, top-notch, and it's definitely one of the coolest 1/3 scale statues ever made for me. So that is number 10. Number 9 is actually going to be the ECC Fawn. This is an extremely good statue. Glass eyes, impeccable detail. Like, it looks like it just came out of the movie, you know, with real hair, Has 3 little fairies. He looks like a real tree. The base is simple, but they just really captured it, and I love that pose. It's so cool. You know, ECC is really expensive, but for a good reason. You know, I think they make like the best 1/3s out there pretty much. It's a shame they don't make more. Like, they rarely even make these, but when they do, they are crazy good. All right, then number 8 is actually going to be ECC Lichen. This bad boy is absolutely freaking amazing. Now, him and Marcus did not have glass eyes. However, they are painted extremely well, but he does have like real fur. The way they painted his whole body, like this vein work, is insanely good. All the different fur, this base is massive and incredibly well done. You have like real chains and these clamps that actually open and close. You know, it's absolutely phenomenal piece. On its own, it's incredible. You know, but I would put Marcus as the next one. So Marcus is number 7. I like him more specifically because of, you know, the dynamic flying pose, the massive wingspan. You know, it's such a sinister looking pose too. The way they sculpted his fingers, and again, the vein effect that ECC does is just crazy good. You know, his base, very similar. It doesn't have the like wet look. It's obviously smaller, but this piece is absolutely freaking phenomenal. And so, yeah, as far as his eyes, I mean, it's really hard to see, but honestly, I can't tell if it's glass or not, but it's extremely well done. But he's definitely one of my favorite 1/3s out there. Next one is actually going to be ECC Freddy. He's only not higher up on the list because I do think the likeness is a tad off, just a tad. You know, I think the bust is perfect likeness. The 1/3 is just a tad off, but it's extremely close. I also wish the hat was not sculpted, but it was a real hat like that, and I could take it on and off. I do like the pose. The base is really what makes this super special. The Infinity Hell. Unfortunately, mine's broken, but I never use light up. But in general, this base is just massive and incredibly cool and detailed. And it's just such a special piece. So Freddy's number 6. Number 5 is going to be Pennywise. You know, this is one of the earlier statues that really incorporated a super cool concept of having the switch out head in the base. And that concept is just freaking amazing. You know, I really like the fact they did that. The water effect looks great. You got the IT logo with the blood and SS Georgie. You got like this real fake grass. Real fake. Pennywise is extremely well done. I think this portrait is spot on. I think that one, granted, it's a really good sculpt, and I like it a lot. I do think the likeness is off. You know, it's similar to like Freddy, where it's just, you know, off, but it still looks really good. It's not like it's so off that it bugs me. But in general, I love this portrait because I got the regular portrait on the bust. So I've been displaying this portrait almost 99.9% of the time, and I freaking love it. Glass eyes. Not 100% sure if it's acrylic teeth. It is labeled acrylic teeth, but I think they might have cheaped out. The balloon is very well done. Love his clothing. Now, definitely, for me, just an absolute killer statue. So that's number 5. So we're down to the top 5. Number 4, ECC Jason. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a lot of ECC because they truly are my favorites. Jason is the best of the ECCs. His base is one that doesn't need a light up to be cool. Now, granted, he does have a light up. You know, right here it lights up into the water and that flickers. But without the light up, you can see, you know, that incredible like sand lake effect with the, you know, kid Jason that was drowning. Just absolutely awesome water effect. And Jason himself is massive. He has tons of like what looks almost like grass stains. You know when you're like, you fall in the grass and your pants are like green? He has that, you know, because he's in the woods, he's chasing people, he falls. So it has like grass stains, water stains, all throughout, you know, because he's in the water. You know, and I love the fact that this one does have the removable mask, glass eyes, translucent resin skin. Although, in general, I do prefer him with the mask on. But you can have him holding the mask, metal machete, you know, and the likeness is spot on. So he is definitely, you know, one of the best 1/3s ever made. You know, the detail all around is just top notch. So he is number 4. Number 3 is going to be Big Chap. You know, this really enveloped what this character is. I love the pose, and it's just a massive character. You know, like this is much bigger than your standard 1/3. You know, it's like huge. You know, like Jason's big, but Big Chap is a lot bigger, and size definitely, you know, impresses. Plus the paint app on this, like they really went all out on this paint app. I really love all the intricate paint, like right here. I love that open mouth portrait. I pretty much always display open mouth. The only one I don't is on dog. I like dogs closed better. But everyone else, I love that open mouth. Yeah, this piece is truly special. So, you know, I freaking love this piece. Ever since day one when I first actually got it set up, outside of the annoying breakages, I was just truly impressed with this. Like, it always has like a wow factor every time I see it. So he is number 3. I'm sure you all can guess what number 2 and 1 is, but let's see. Folks, I do apologize. I totally forgot about 2 statues, and these ones are definitely up here, so we're just going to add them and call it what it is. But we need to add Doom. I believe this is a top 10 1/3 scale statue. That base just blows me away every time I see it. It is truly one of the coolest bases I've ever seen. And Doom himself does not disappoint. It's not like this is only thing that's impressive. He is super impressive and super cool. And the fact he comes with like 6 weapons is just crazy cool. So he's definitely like a top 10 for me, or, you know, he's really up there. Is he better than some of the ECCs? I mean, he is way big. Base is probably equally as cool as like Freddy and Jason and Ash. You know, they achieve different things, but this base just has so much going on. It's so busy, and I like that. Some people don't like super busy bases. They prefer something maybe simple like that. But this, to me, is just crazy cool. It's what makes it so special. But definitely Doom is up here. You know, I would rank it very high. And I actually have to... So the next 3 is actually number 3, which is called Goro, PCS Goro. I think they captured Goro, you know, perfectly. The pose, straight from a poster. The base, Goro's lair, light up fire. You know, it's beautiful, but also doesn't take up too much space. And they did a really good job on Goro, you know, all the like real fur and leather and the necklace, like those look like real gems. He looks great. He has real hair. He's absolutely incredible. You know, he's definitely extremely well done. There's not really much they could do to improve upon it. You know, he's just really well done. Let's get to number 2 and 1. So it looks like I forgot to record 2 and 1. I swear I was pressing the record button. So re-uploading the video, adding 2 and 1. Number 2, Wonder Woman on horse. This is my second favorite 1/3. This is a near perfect statue, and there's just a few things I think could be fixed. I think the base, I have no qualms with the base. It really encaptures that World War theme. It's massive, very well detailed, looks incredible. The horse looks absolutely magnificent. I love the real hair, the texture on the actual horse itself, the pose, the eyes look really well done. And plus it's absolutely ridiculously massive. It's like the size of a pretty large dog. Wonder Woman herself, the armor is incredibly well done. Very good textures, great paint app, looks very weathered. Her skin tone does look really good. It's similar to the Wonder Woman Ultimate. Could be better, but it is really good. They do have like a skin texture. Sort of looks like Goosebumps, but it's good. Likeness, I would peg it honestly as good as the J&D Wonder Woman in terms of just likeness. Like, it's really good. I think what's bringing it slightly down is the lack of glass eyes and just a, you know, a better paint app in general on like the face. Sword, it's real metal. What truly makes this statue so impressive is the sheer size of it, you know, with the horse. Take away the horse, it definitely wouldn't be a top 10 for me. However, because of the horse and the sheer size and presence of the piece, it truly does elevate this to, you know, one of the best 1/3 scale statues ever made. You know, when you look at any other 1/3, this is the one that truly stands out. You know, I know J&D may be more detailed and whatnot, but the simplicity of that, you know, this has zero presence. Granted, impeccable detail, but you know, the concept alone is just, and this presence is far outmatched. You know, Wonder Woman is definitely, you know, like the best DC 1/3 in my opinion. Absolutely incredible. Then we come to number 1. Number 1 is going to be Prime 1 Jungle Hunter 1/3. This is a pretty much perfect 1/3 scale statue. Prime 1 did an incredible job on the unmasked paint app. You know, the actual dot pattern, they got it perfect with the black, the browns, the glossy look, the inner mouth vein work. The eyes look incredible. The dreads are great. The body, you know, it looks just like the movie. The base, absolute masterpiece with everything they included, all the little Easter eggs. You know, you got the little scorpion. I love, you know, all the little Easter eggs. You got the dog tags, the snake in the back, the skull, the little pond, the water effects looks amazing. You know, the amount of switch outs, the portraits, the size, it's freaking massive. You know, it's probably my biggest 1/3 body size. Granted, this is overscaled. I would say there's probably only 2 things I would change. One, make this correct scale. I mean, is bigger always better? In this case, yes and no. Yes, because it makes it, you know, more presence and it just looks so good. 2, it doesn't scale with other 1/3. Hence, it's right here, not right there. So that's a pro and a con. And then 2, I would give it glass eyes. The eyes look really good, like incredibly well painted. For a painted eye, it's 10 out of 10. But even the best painted eyes, glass eye is still better. So that would be one thing I would change. Otherwise, it's pretty much perfect in every aspect. Granted, this is a copycat of the Cinema Cat. They just improved upon it, adding additional switch outs, making the base better, and so forth. But nevertheless, this is the best 1/3 scale statue out there. Will it be topped? I think the only thing that could top this is future Prime 1 1/3 Predators, you know, like Berserker or Wolf, for example. They have the potential to top this. But this being the OG classic does make it extra special. So we will see if this ever is topped. I only have a few additional pre-orders right now that could top this. I mean, I do have Berserker on PO, which has the potential. And for future POs, Prime 1 Arnold and T1000, they might be able to make the top 10 list. We'll see. I think Arnold alone, I think he has high potential of making a top 10. But yeah, that is my top 10, well, really 12, because I forgot to include 2. Top 12 1/3 scale statues. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.